We wish you welcome to this contemplative gathering arranged by the Golden Rosicross Nordic. We are going to read some passages dating from different periods of time and originating from various parts of the world. The message of these passages, however, stays always the same. Some of the listeners might know the children's book Momo, written by the German author Michael Ende. It tells about grey gentlemen, time thieves, who steal the adults' time so that they fail to spend time with their children. Well, nowadays many of us are all the time busy. Information technology has turned out not to be time-saving, like it was anticipated. On the contrary, in order to use digital devices, one needs special skills and precision. And one of the results is multitasking, where one's attention is divided between a number of ongoing, not yet finished tasks. Since the publication of Momo, the great gentlemen have unfortunately stolen also our children's time in a similar manner. Our concentration ability is overloaded, and as a consequence it has decreased, so that we have great difficulties to calm down and to compose ourselves, even at moments when we could have an opportunity to do so. When comparing our present time with the past decades, centuries, and thousands of years, we dare to say that the human being of yore had a greater number of natural opportunities to silent and creative contemplation on the most important questions in human life. We, as modern human beings, must make great efforts to calm down in order to grant ourselves some moments of introspection. During this contemplative meeting, we would like to show you, dear listeners, how regenerating and vital it is to be still and organize some moments for listening to the silent voice from within. Every now and then there will be a break for silent contemplation, sometimes followed by an interlude. We start by quoting the book of Mirdad, written by the Lebanese author Mikhail Naimi. We take a passage from the 12th chapter, titled On Creative Silence. Mikhail, is to be silent better than to speak? Mirdad answers, speech is at best an honest lie, while silence is at worst a naked verity. Abimar, shall we conclude that even Mirdad's words, though honest, are but lies? Mirdad, aye, even Mirdad's words are but lies, to all whose I is not the same as Mirdad's. Till all your thoughts be quarried from one quarry, and all desires drawn of the selfsome well, your words, though honest, shall be lies. When your I and mine are one, even as mine and God's are one, we would dispense with words and perfectly commune in truthful silence. The silence I would usher you into is that limitless expanse, wherein non-being passes into being and being into non-being. It is that awesome void where every sound is born and hushed, and every form is shaped and crushed, where every self is writ and unwrit, where nothing is but it. Except you cross that void and that expanse in silent contemplation, you shall not know how real is your being, how unreal the non-being, nor shall you know how fast your reality is bound up with all reality. It is that silence I would have you roam, that you may shed your old tied skin and move about unfettered, unrestrained. Mirdad continues, it is there I would have you drive your cares and fears, your passions and desires, your envies and your lusts, that you may see them vanish one by one, and thus relieve your ears of their incessant cries, and spare your sides the pain of their sharp spurs. It is there I would have you fling the bows and arrows of this world, wherewith you hope to hunt contentment and joy, yet hunt in truth nothing but restlessness and sorrow. Beware, O cackling virtue, my companions, as you muzzle your shame, so muzzle your honor too. For a cackling honor is worse than a silent dishonor, and glamorous virtue is worse than dumb iniquity. Refrain from speaking much. Out of 1,000 words uttered, there may be one, and one only, that need in truth be uttered. The rest but cloud the mind, and stuff the ear, and irk the tongue, and blind the heart as well. In his booklet, Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu speaks wise words about the expansion of the mind by means of introspection. He who knows Tao doesn't argue. Those who chatter about it do not know it. Keep your mouth shut, close your eyes, and shut the doors to sounds. Level out all angularity, reduce the dazzle, and you will be on the same level as the dust of the earth. This is the wondrous virtue. He who perceives this responds to openness and reserve, goodwill and insult, tribute and defamation in an equal manner. Another symbolic instruction of Lao Tzu is quite illustrative. A human being can learn to know the world without leaving his house. Through his window he can see the majestic Tao. The further he will go, the less hope he has of finding. Therefore, the wise knows and feels without traveling, names beings without seeing them, and fulfills everything without doing. Corpus Hermeticum represents the high wisdom of the ancient Egypt. Pimander, the spirit soul, urges his disciple Hermes Trismegistus to be still in order that he can teach him. Well then, be still, O Hermes Trismegistus, and do not forget what I shall tell you. After composing himself to receptiveness, Hermes could understand the words of Pimander. You should see God in this way. He keeps as thoughts everything that exists enclosed in himself, the world, himself, the universe. If you do not make yourself equal to God, you cannot understand him, for only those who are alike understand each other. Grow up to unlimited greatness. Rise above all bodies. transcend all time, become eternity, then you will understand God. Penetrate yourself with the thought that nothing is impossible for you. Become higher than all heights and deeper than all depths. If you are able to contain all this in your consciousness at the same time, periods, places, events, qualities and quantities, then you can understand God. All this I had to disclose to you, O Trismegistus. Consider further everything in the same way, and you will not go astray. One of the founders of our spiritual school, Mr. Jan van Rijkenborg, explains the previous thoughts in the following way. This stillness points to a certain condition of the heart. The heart of our personality coincides approximately with the center of the microcosm. In this center we find the rose, the spirit spark atom, the primary meeting point of the gnosis and the human being, the spirit with the soul and Pimander with Hermes. However, in the natural human state, the heart is the place where such divergent desires, fears, and passions seethe and stir. In the ordinary human being, the heart is anything but still. The task of realizing the stillness of the heart is given to all those who are truly seeking the gnosis. It points to the purification of the heart, to the opening of the heart, making it completely quiet and harmonious. How can we realize the stillness of our heart? Lao Tzu asks, who can purify into peace the impurities of his heart? Who can be born gradually into Tao by the prolonged practice of calm? And answers, He who retains Tao does not wish to be full. Precisely because he is not full, he is forever secure against change. Jan van Rijkenborg discloses these words of Lao Tzu as follows. The way to empty your heart of impurities is by no longer desiring them, without any action of the will. This is only possible from experience, from the defeat of the soul, so that one is emptied of natural impulses, whilst knowing that there is only one power that can comfort the soul. Then the rosebud sends out a call via the sternum, the call of yearning for salvation. And in response, a powerful current of the gnosis surges into your being, and by it you are purified into peace, into stillness. Then the tranquillity of soul for which you are yearned so much will become reality. And the result will be a total purification of the blood. All the other life lights will then be compelled to follow suit, and with this tranquillity of soul as a foundation, transfiguration will begin, and the golden wedding garment will be woven. During her lifetime, Mrs. H.B. Blavatsky conveyed the wisdom of the East to the Western humanity. The voice of silence says about the requirements of soul growth. Before the soul can see, the harmony within must be attained, and fleshy eyes be rendered blind to all illusion. Before the soul can hear, the image, man, has to become as deaf to roarings as to whispers, to cries of bellowing elephants, as to the silvery buzzing of the golden firefly. Before the soul can comprehend and may remember, she must unto the silent speaker be united, just as the form to which the clay is modelled is first united with the potter's mind. For then the soul will hear and will remember, and then to the inner ear will speak the voice of the silence. When you make your heart still and pure, you also free your head for the functions to which it is called. Then the sensory organs function quite differently as well. And then we see, feel, and experience the harmonious unity between each other and the divinity. Dear listeners, these teachings of the past and present times are unanimous in the prerequisites for spiritual development. Spiritual development requires stillness and introspection. Therefore, let us conclude this gathering with a wish that hasn't lost a bit of its actuality throughout time, a wish of ancient brothers and sisters. Let us become still for the Lord, so that we may truly listen, so that we may truly understand. Dear listeners, our contemplative gathering has come to its end. We hope that this reminder of the beneficial stillness has awakened some recognition and response in your hearts. We thank you for your participation tonight.